Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 4 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Sneaking outside my house. Remember last episode at the very end I said I could see a lava lake over here? Well, I did mine through this wall, went down just a little bit, and ta-da, found my lava lake. Nice! So, good news is I actually have a decent supply of lava nearby, which I can then use to fill up my little smeltery here, and we can get started making some really nice... Ah, creeper sneaking up on me. Sneaky creepers. Alright, so, that was fun and exciting, but I don't want it to happen again. What I would like to do is grab some water real quick. More creepers. Wearing silly hats. Ah! Teleported and dizzied. Curses that creeper. Alright, I think there's some water not too far away over in this direction. Ah! That was close. Alright, so I'm going to collect some water, and I would like to get a couple things to get started on what's probably going to be the first of several Tinker's tools that I want to get started with. So I'd like to get myself a decent Tinker tool set up before the end of this episode. Then I would like to steal some water, and maybe get started moving towards my new house, which is still set up kind of off in that distance over there. I don't know, you could barely see it through the trees and everything. Hooray. Let's set up an infinite water source just for fun right here. I'll go get a second water bucket here in a minute, just because I'm going to want, you know, a little bit of water here and there as I get started with stuff. Probably eat so I can regenerate some health, wouldn't be a terrible idea. Oh, those telecreepers. They're kind of cool. By the way, I think I mentioned this on camera, but I'm not 100% sure. The telecreepers are actually being split off into a separate mod. They're part of enderIO, but the author decided you know, to make them a separate mob so that people who have enderIO don't necessarily get them. So what I decided is that because I think they're kind of neat, right? The telecreepers and, you know, a couple of those other nifty mods. I don't know about those mini endermen. They're kind of nasty, but... you know, I won't complain too much. I figured let's go ahead and add it to the pack. So I guess the next version of the pack will have sort of that setup going. Now, what I want to do is take a look at my mighty smelting book here and come up with the resource that I want to use for my tools. So let's see. I do have a couple things here. I've got this thing all set up. It's ready to start smelting. It can only handle 4 things because it's kind of small at the moment, but we will definitely be expanding it in the near future so that we can do other stuff with it. Let's go ahead and take a look at how can I combine this with, oh, by itself, Diary of a Tinker, huh? I'm not familiar with that book. All right, where's my other book? That's Materials and You. This is World Domination. This is the one I was looking for, Materials and You Volume 2. That's really the one that's most useful, because this is the book that will tell you all that you need to know about Tinker's tools. So it gives you information about how to make different tools. So instead of a pickaxe just being a tool rod and a pickaxe head, you also need a tool binding. So there's a couple different materials you're going to need to put together to get stuff. The other thing that it'll tell you if you keep digging through here, more information, is what different modifiers you get based on the type of material you use. So for example, wood has really low durability, and it's going to have a pretty slow mining speed and a pretty low level amount of mining, level 1. But things like iron have a lot more durability, and they have all kinds of different modifiers depending on what kind of position you place it in the tool. So we're going to start making a good tool. What I want to get is the Elamite. This is kind of your first good metal. Elamite, though, you can't just make, you know, in a crafting table. You actually have to mix a couple different liquid metals in the smeltery, which luckily we made. So let's take a look. First off, to get Elamite, you know, we'll see here, that's kind of the one that you want to get started with. There's a bunch of different ones, but Elamite is probably the easiest one to access that has a mining level of 4, which is cobalt, which is going to open up some even better materials for us, right? You'll see that most other materials don't have a mining level of 4. The only other one that might would be cobalt, but that requires a mining level of 4, and ardite, which also requires a mining level of 4, and manulin, which gives you a mining level of 5. That's really just a combination of cobalt and ardite. So there's really no other thing. Steel would get it for you, but steel is probably a little bit tricky to get your hands on right now. So what we're going to do is look into our mighty smelting book and figure out how to get ourselves some Elamite. Cool. So in order to get this, we need aluminum, iron, and obsidian. The only trick is, right now, we don't have a diamond pick, and I'd hate to waste 3 diamonds just to get a few pieces of obsidian, just so I can make a better tool. So I'm going to kind of cheat. That's right. We're going to create a sneaky way. There's several mod items that exist in the game that give you access to automated block harvesting. And one of them doesn't require diamonds. So if we take a look at block breakers, for example, one of them is the block breaker from Mine Factory Reloaded. This thing requires a bunch of stuff, some Invar stuff, some gears, some redstone reception coils, plastic sheets. We're not anywhere near the technological level to make a block breaker. You could also take a look at the block breaker from Open Blocks. This unfortunately requires a diamond pickaxe, which is what we're trying to avoid using diamonds for this, right? So one thing, which is a little bit sneaky, is the terrain smasher from Thermal Expansion. This guy is simply an Invar pickaxe, a couple of tin gears, and a pneumatic servo. There's no diamonds in this recipe, so let's get it cooked up. Invar, by the way, we can make right here in our alloy smeltery with a ferrous ingot and 2 iron will get us 3. So let's see what we got over here. Do I have 2 iron and a ferrous ingot? Nice. Into the alloy smeltery you go, and start cooking up. It does. There we go. And it'll output directly into the chest here, so that'll get us that. And then the only other thing we need is a bit of glass, iron, and redstone. So 2 iron. 2 iron, 1 redstone, and I probably threw my glass around here somewhere. Little nifty trick with NEI here. If you double click on this here, it'll turn gold, right? So if we look for glass, for example, oh, there it is. It's in my inventory. It kind of darkens everything except the one that you've typed in, so it'll find stuff within your inventory. Neat little trick there. So I should be able to get a pneumatic servo here, which I think was redstone, this, and this. Maybe not. There we go, pneumatic servo. And I also needed a piston, which is going to be one of this and this. Also, every now and then, NEI gets stuck. I don't know what's causing it. It's probably a bug with NEI. For whatever reason, searching NEI doesn't work anymore after you do something. So I'm going to go ahead and say if you do run into that, simply close out of Minecraft and open it back up, and you'll be all right. It'll come back to you. So let's see, Invar here. Let's get some sticks for an Invar pick. There we go. Also a neat trick. Let's go ahead and break this crafting table here. I'm going to place the crafting table in a crafting table, and I'll get myself a crafting station. The cool thing about this is, number one, it opens up access to an adjacent chest, so you can see right on the side here all the stuff in that chest, and you can pull it out and put it in the crafting table if you want. But the other cool thing about it is you can actually place stuff in the crafting table and close out, and it'll stay in there. So if I remember correctly, piston, and then I think I needed tin gears. So let's go ahead and craft up some tin gears. Actually, I believe it's going to be a little bit more tin. Do I have any tin dust in here? Silver, iron, tin. Okay, that'll do. I'll cook up 6 of them for now. We'll let that cook up. So you can see here, obviously, it does take a little while to cook up 3 pieces at a time, but it's worth it, because it's 3 pieces at a time. And that'll get me my tin gear resource. I believe I can make tin gears like that. Nice. So this, and this might be my terrain smasher that I wanted. Awesome. Cool. So now, if I want to get obsidian, which I do because I want Elamite, I should be able to snag... What do I do with my bucket? Oh, I still have it in my inventory. You guys who are new to my series might find that I'm terrible at finding stuff in my inventory sometimes. Oh well. So let's just do something like this. Alright, that'll give us access to a decent amount of obsidian to get started. All we gotta do is place this guy down, and you'll notice that he immediately broke it. Nice. So let's go ahead and place this chest behind it there, and ta-da, obsidian in the chest. So that's the main trick here. Now, something else we could have done if we wanted to, you know, probably be a little bit more efficient about it is maybe just scoop up the lava, but it's no big deal. You can also, I think, let's see here, rotate this guy. There we go. And if I pick him up, yeah, no, you won't get the, I think it might maintain the obsidian in the inventory. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, watch out for that. Where'd my chest go? Could have sworn I had one. Oh, you know what? It probably got eaten up by the terrain smasher, didn't it? Alright, I'll go get a new chest. I'll get some obsidian, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so to recap, we're going to need 2 parts obsidian, 2 parts iron, and 5 parts aluminum. The only part that's a little bit tricky that you're going to want to keep in mind, so let's see here, aluminum, good. I'm going to want 3 of those, I think, and we have some iron. The smeltery, like some other mod-related items, will double ores for you. So if you put in, for example, 1 iron ore, it'll count as 2 iron, right? Where 1 iron ingot would count as 1 iron. So I'm thinking I should be able to do this, this, and these 2, and then I'll throw the other aluminum in there, and I might need to throw another obsidian in. Because we're using such a small smeltery here, you can't put many resources in, but if we were to get ourselves more seared bricks, we could expand this thing and store more stuff in it, which we'll probably do once we move to the new base, but I wanted to just get a good pick so I can start doing a little bit better mining, and then we'll talk about getting some more cobblestone. I mean, I have a decent amount. I could probably build a second room at this point, and then maybe we'll start doing the move. All right, I'll come back. Oh, look, wow. See, aluminum melts pretty quickly, by the way. Different materials have different melting points. Aluminum's very fast, as you can see. Iron and obsidian, not quite as fast as aluminum. So we'll let this get mixed in there. Aluminum, iron. Now, the only other thing we're going to need is a little bit of gold, because we're going to need to make ourselves some patterns of smelting stuff down. You'll see what I mean. But let's see, what did that get for us? So that got us a little bit of alumite, a little bit of aluminum is left, iron, and obsidian. Okay, so let me throw this in there. We'll see how that does. And then I need to get a couple things. Let's get some more wood. So one thing I'm definitely going to want is a few more blank patterns. So for this, we're going to want to do something like so. Cool. There we go. These stencils can be used for several of the crafting benches you're going to need from Tinker's Construct. So first off, we're going to want a part builder. That's going to be useful. We're also going to want something like a crafting table with a stencil on top. That'll get us the tool station. A piece of wood with a stencil on top will get a stencil table. And then finally a chest, which I just happen to have laying around still, will get us this here pattern chest. Cool. So what does all this do? Well, we're about to check it out. Let's see, where can I set this up? I'll put them all right here, maybe. So we're going to want the stencil table, we're going to want the part builder, and we're going to want the tool station. And I think I'm probably going to want the chest behind, let's see. I'll put it right there behind the part builder. That should work pretty well. So into the blank pattern area, the blank patterns go into the stencil table here on the left. And then you can create stencils using the stencil table. So for example, I want to make a pickaxe, right? If we take a look in our book, Materials and You, which now I have 2 of, you'll see that in order to get a pickaxe, for example, we're going to need a pickaxe head. We're also going to need a tool rod and a tool binding. So that's what we're after. So let's get ourselves a tool rod and a tool binding and a pickaxe head. Cool. Now I can make these in the part builder. All I need to do is place them in the left-hand slot and then place some kind of material in the right-hand slot. So you can see I can use stone if I want to, and I can put most non-metallic substances in here. So if I went into my Materials and You, let's see here. So in the materials section, I could put things like wood and stone, cactus and flint, bone, maybe obsidian, but metals like alumite and let's see, ardite, cobalt, iron, anything that's pretty much a metal needs to be melted down into here. Okay, so we've got a decent amount of alumite. We've got a little bit of aluminum left. That's fine. We're not going to worry about that. So I've got 3 ingots of aluminite. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take a look. What do I want to use to go with along with my sword here? Or my pickaxe, I mean. So one of the main things to pay attention to when choosing your resource type for your tools is, number one, the main thing that affects the tool is obviously the head. So things like your tool durability, your mining speed, your mining level, those things are going to be affected by like the pickaxe head. The tool rod, on the other hand, really only affects the handle modifier and the material trait that you get from it. And then finally, things like the binding really only affect the material trait. So what you should do is kind of pick, like, you know, the tool rod head is going to be alumite, because that's absolutely what we want our material to be. We really want that mining level 4 with a decent amount of speed and all that good stuff, right? Now the material trait that we want to go for, I think, I'm going to go with obsidian. Alumite gives you reinforced level 2, but obsidian gives you reinforced level 3, which is even better. And that's basically like unbreaking. It's similar very much to unbreaking in that the tool won't take any durability damage, you know, occasionally. And the higher the level, the less often it'll take durability damage. For the rod, I think I'm going to just go with an alumite rod because, you know, why not? It really doesn't matter too much. It'll give us a handle modifier of 1.3, which means we'll have 1.3 times the durability of the basic tool durability, which would be 909. So, how do I get alumite in the shape of a pickaxe head? Well, first, we're going to need to melt down a little bit of gold. So do I have any gold ore? If not, I can cook it up. Oh, wait, did I? Yes, nice. I'll just cook up I'll do 2 pieces of gold. Sure, why not? Because you can never have too much of this stuff. You can either use aluminum brass or gold for this method. Aluminum brass, if we take a look in our book here, is made from aluminum and copper. So if you want to mix 3 aluminum to 1 copper, you can absolutely do that and get aluminum brass, or you can mix up some gold and do this process as well. So just to demonstrate, maybe I'll do, let's see, aluminum. Yeah, I can do aluminum brass. Sure, 3 aluminum to 1 copper. Let's do it. So we'll let that cook up as well. In the meantime, I'm going to get my tool rod, and I need a stone one. It can be really anything, but stone is obviously the cheapest by far, so that's what I'm going to go with. And the pickaxe head, I'm also going to go ahead. Now, sometimes, for example, the tool rod only costs half a piece of stone, so we get this stone shard, which counts as half a piece as well. The pickaxe requires 1, so we can't use the stone shard for it, because that's really only half. But what we can use is just a full piece of cobblestone. We can get the stone pickaxe head. You can see there's some information on there about what it gives you on the tooltip. If I wanted to get a binding as well, I could use the stone shard, because like I said, that counts as half, and the tool binding only requires half a piece of stone. But in fact, what I want is some obsidian. So I'll get my reinforced 3 obsidian. I've got my obsidian shard here, which is a leftover. And into my pattern chest, I can just place these patterns that I've got. Cool. That's why I put the pattern chest behind the part builder, because I can access it directly. And now any other time I need to make a pickaxe head or a tool binding pattern or a tool rod pattern, I have easy access to it. Nice. And I'll also make another quick chest just to store some you know, remaining stuff from Tinkers in here. I'll put it right back here. I don't think, yeah, I didn't think I could access it from here, but I'll throw some of these, like, you know, tool rod and pickaxe head. I'm going to need these 2 for a minute, though. So, in order to get ourselves a cast so that we can pour this alumite into something like a cast, we need to go ahead and have this aluminum brass. We've got 8 ingots worth of aluminum brass stored in our smeltery. By the way, whichever liquid is at the bottom is the one that's going to get poured out in the following process. So if you wanted to use gold, you would click on gold, it would move it to the bottom, or you can click on the aluminum brass and that would get moved to the bottom. We want to use aluminum brass right now. We'll save our gold for later. I'm going to go ahead and place my stone tool rod in my casting table and just right click on the faucet. Some of the aluminum brass gets poured out and it hardens into a cast. Cool. So now I've got a stone rod cast. Same thing for the pickaxe head. Let it harden. And now I've got that. I'm going to put these guys in here. Don't really need them. You could probably destroy them. But now I want some alumite stuff, right? So let's get the alumite to the bottom. There it is, molten alumite. And we'll pour this out. And into here you go. Cool. And what I'll usually do is have a separate pattern chest. But for now, because we know we're going to be moving soon and I don't want to have too many things to move, I'll go ahead and just toss them in there. But usually I'll have one pattern chest for the wooden patterns and one for the material patterns, the metal ones. So now that we've got this up and running, we just need to use our tool station to go ahead and get ourselves the pickaxe that we want. All we do is choose on the left-hand side here the pickaxe, and you can see it's telling me I need a handle, and I need my obsidian reinforced binding thing. And by the way, just don't forget, when you open up the interface again, you'll need to do this, and then our pickaxe. Cool. Dire pick 1. You can name it whatever you want. I've got my first Tinker's Construct pickaxe. Nice. This tool is going to be very nice. It'll allow us to harvest all kinds of stuff. It's got a pretty fast mining speed. It's not terribly faster than the iron one. It actually looks pretty much on par. And you can check for sure in Materials and You. Iron has a mining speed of 6, and Elamite has a mining speed of 8. So it is a little bit faster. Not terribly faster, but definitely a little bit faster. Cool. Now we can upgrade this if we want, by the way. We can do some cool stuff to it. I don't want to spend too much time upgrading it. Hello, Mr. Bat. Goodbye, Mr. Bat. Redstone, for example, will give you a speed increase. Lapis will give you a chance to get looting or a fortune effect on your tools and weapons. If you take a look here in Materials and You, you'll find at the very end of the page here a thing called modifiers. So for example, diamond gives you more durability, 500, where an emerald will give you 50% more durability. So depending on the current durability of your tool, diamond or iron, one might be better than the other. Redstone gives you a speed increase. You can also get auto repair and auto smelting and a whole bunch of other nifty, cool gadgets that you can see. There's a bunch of stuff you can put on. Each tool has a certain number of modifiers. So when you place the tool into the table there, you'll see how many modifiers remain. Right now you can only place 3 on the pick. And you can also use this interface to repair it using some ingots, for example. So one thing I want to do, speaking of ingots, is I want to put an ingot into my casting table. Any ingot will do. I'll get some aluminum brass and I'll pour that over top. And now I have a pattern for an ingot. Cool. So if I wanted to get my gold out of there, I absolutely could. Looking good. And if I also want to get that excess aluminum, I could as well. And I'll probably want the Elamite that I have in there. So Elamite, I've got about 1.5 ingots worth of Elamite. Oh well, that's okay. If I want to get that half out of there, what I could probably do, yeah, I could probably throw the pattern in for the tool rod. So remember, the tool rod uses about half an ingot. That should get all the Elamite out of there. Cool, there we go. And you could always throw this tool rod, by the way, back into the smeltery and melt it down again. Alright guys, so now that I've got this cool pick, and I think, by the way, I should be able to use it to harvest more obsidian if I wanted to. For example, I'll put this stuff all in here, and you, Mr. Terrain Smasher, which was very helpful of me, can go right in there. So let's see, can I mine obsidian with this thing? Pretty sure I can. Might take a minute, but I should be able to. Dun dun dun. Go obsidian, go. Nice. Alright. So obsidian, ready to roll. Alright guys, I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, so at this point I want to start processing the dusts that I have in here. And remember, we were having an issue mostly with the smeltery, a little bit too with the sag mill. I want to let you guys know about a nifty trick you can do. Currently the furnace is in all smelting mode, which means it'll combine metals, but it'll also treat it like a normal vanilla furnace, right? If I switch it to alloys only, it won't act like a vanilla furnace, so it won't pull in these dusts, but it will pull in things like iron and ferrous to make the invar. Or I can put it in furnace-only mode, and now it should only pull in materials for furnaces. So let's go ahead and pull both in, and we should now only be pulling in the powder that we want to process. Cool. So I'll let that run, and I'll be back in a few. I think I might want to do a little bit more mining with my nifty new pick. And then once I've gotten just a little bit more cobblestone, probably I can go build another addition to the house, and then think about moving. All right, see you guys in a few. Oh, I want to take a quick break from mining to show you guys I found something new. Dark iron ore. This is some pretty good stuff, and it's going to be used in factorization a little bit later. Snag it when you can because it's not terribly common. It's pretty much found only at the very bottom of the world. I knew there'd be a little bit more here. Cool. Alright, just wanted to give you that heads up. And it looks like an Enderman has decided to stop by and visit. How you doing, buddy? Really? You're just going to hang out in my house here? Get out of here. Thank you. I could use an ender pearl. Ah! Sneaking up on me. Alright, let me clean up my inventory and then I'll be back. Oh, by the way, guys, about to go build my house up a little bit. Might need to sleep. Might be getting close to bedtime. Maybe, we'll see. But I wanted to show you a quick trip with these barrels. If you place stuff in them and then empty it out completely, you'll notice that it's an empty barrel now and anything else can go into it. If you want, you can shift-click the barrel with an empty hand and a lock will show up on it. Now when you take out the last item, it'll remember it's still a barrel for cobblestone, even though there's 0 cobblestone in it. Cool trick. Home sweet, soon to be home. I don't know, guys. I kind of feel like this is a pretty nice looking 9x9, if I do say so myself. Alright, let's get inside, close the door. I brought a bed with me so I can set my spawn, and if it happens to get nighttime while I'm out here, not have to worry about it too much. Let's break through this wall and get ourselves some more stuff. I'm going to build this rest of the next piece of this house off camera, so I'll be back in a minute. So guys, just coming back for a minute to let you know I'm working on this extra room here that I have. Typically when I build my 9x9s, and don't worry, those of you who are really anti-fans of the 9x9, it's a tradition, you know, I have to build my first house as a couple 9x9s. I will branch out a little bit, or at least try to this season. Look, I'm using chisel, all right? Don't expect me to change too much at once now. I'll use chisel and make, you know, fancier looking cobblestone 9x9s, and then we'll branch out from there. We'll see. Maybe I'll even call in some help, call in the big guns. We'll see. But anyway, like I was saying, typically when I build my 9x9s, which the story of which is that when I was first way early on playing Minecraft and trying to, you know, be efficient with my resources because, you know, coal was pretty hard to come by back in the day. Back in my day, coal was hard to come by. If you look on the ground here, one thing that always bugs me when I see people's houses is when there's torches like all over the ground like that. That just looks silly to me, right? So I didn't want that. I wanted to have torches up on the walls. What I found is that the 9x9 structure is the most efficient structure if you want no ability for mobs to spawn and not have torches on the ground. If we remove this, you'll see that, you know, mobs can spawn anywhere here at night. Placing it up on the wall like that prevents it. So that's where a 9x9 comes from. That's the history of the 9x9 for those of you interested. Pretty cool, right? Any larger room, right, if you made it 10x10, you would have to place a torch in the middle or somehow get a torch lower down on the walls, something like that, to make it so it would cover the entire area. So that's the history of 9x9s. Now what I'd like to do is treat this room that I'm in right now, at least to begin with, as a storage room. So I'm going to put some chests in here for storage. What this means is I have to start relocating stuff from my base. Unfortunately, it's kind of a long walk. So why don't I see if I can't come up with a better way to do this. I'm going to get rid of F7 here. Let's get ourselves, what was I using here? Detailed cobblestone bricks. That's what I used for the floor? Okay. Detailed cobblestone bricks. Okay. I like that you can, you know, quickly and easily exchange one type of thing for another here. Cool. Doesn't this look kind of nice? You guys have no idea how proud of I am of myself for trying to use something a little bit more decorative than cobblestone. Ta-da! Cool. That looks kind of awesome. Alright, let's head back to our base because I have a lot of traveling back and forth to do. It's actually usually I have my base, you know, relatively close to my new base and my old base. That's going to be a lot of walking. Let's see what I can do about that. Oh, good news. All my ore is finished processing. Nice. That's good because what I want to do is grab a couple ender pearls. I'll clean up my inventory in a minute here, and a couple pieces of iron. You'll notice that I can't even place iron in here because it's in furnace mode. So I'm going to put it back into alloys mode. Get out of there. Stop that. Stop it. What do you... I'm going to have to Stop it. Disabled. You're probably cooking something. I have no idea what, but alright, electrum. That's fine. I won't complain too much about that. So, back to getting some iron. Let's, now that you're not going to steal stuff, I'm going to get a couple pieces of this stuff. So it's ender pearl plus iron ingot. I'm also going to need a couple diamonds, which I started off the episode saying I didn't want to use, but then I went mining and found a few more, so I'm not going to complain too much. I'm also going to want a little bit of clay. I think I need 2 of them. I need 4 of you and some gravel. So I'm going to need this stuff, binder composite, which is sand, gravel, and clay in a crafting table. Binder composite. Cool. And that's going to need to be smelted as well. So I'm getting pulsating iron from enderIO here. And while I'm at it, I'm going to need a little bit more iron. This stuff's used for quite a few things. There's a lot of stuff that pulsating iron is used for from enderIO. And the one I'm going to make is going to make it a lot easier for me to migrate my base. So I'm going to switch this to furnace only mode, and I'm going to cook up my binder composites. I know I'm going to need a handful of these things, but that's okay. They'll cook up in a minute here. Shouldn't take too long. You know what? I'm making way more than I need, but that's okay. I'll just let it go. I forgot that binder composites, when you cook them, you get 4 per binder composite. No big deal. You get lots of it. What do I want to craft? Let's see. If I get myself some pulsating iron nuggets and surround a diamond with them, I get a pulsating crystal, which, when combined, I believe, like this and this, gets me travel anchors. Cool. These things are awesome. Basically, you can place them in the ground. Ta-da! And when you stand on them, something special and magical happens. Well, you need 2, actually, for this to work. Let's go put one over here. Why not? When you stand on one, you can see the other one. And if you jump, ta-da! You teleport. Now, these are kind of a short-range teleport. They don't, you know what? I'm actually going to leave this one here. This is the perfect spot for it. They're kind of a short-range teleport. You have to be able to see the object in your view range. So, as long as you can see it, you know, view distance wise, you should be able to teleport between the 2. I'm pretty sure that my view distance between my new house and my old one will reach. See, I can kind of see my new house from here, so I should be able to. It's probably on the outer edge of how far you can teleport with these things. I mean, I might be able to teleport a little further. Long story short, I should be able to travel back and forth from my old to my new base. What I want to do is set this up to help me move, and then use these things a little bit later on. One thing I plan to use it for will be, I kind of have a design idea for some of the way I want my new house to work. I'm going to have a slightly different base design this season than I had last season. Let's go ahead and stick it right here in the corner for now. I should be able to... Maybe I can't? Maybe it's too far? That would be sad. I was really hoping this would work. I know it's a short-ish range teleport, but I thought I'd be able to reach... It might just be so small because it's so far away, but I want to get it a little bit closer and see what happens. Am I just not seeing it? I would imagine it's somewhere in this direction. I was all excited about this. If I made one more, which would cost me another ender pearl and another diamond, I could kind of work this out. Let's see. I kind of want to just try it. Wow. I expected a lot to be able to teleport this far away. Maybe I'm just derping and not seeing the thing. Alright, give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, this kind of seems to be like the limit of the range here. So this is about halfway to my base. If I had another travel anchor set up, I might be able to get it to work. See, I can see it there, but if I move it back maybe this far, and it's getting night out, so this might be getting a little dangerous. See, I don't see it anymore. I thought these had a little bit longer range than this, but I guess not. No big deal. I might make another one and just make it easy to move. What I'm going to do between this episode and next is start moving. There's one more thing I might be able to do that would help me out here. One sec. Well, what I'll definitely do is get myself a dolly. this will absolutely help me because it'll allow me to pick up not only barrels with stuff in them, which I'll fill that barrel back up, so I can pick up a dolly. Unfortunately, it gives you the slowness 2 debuff, so that's no fun. But I can also pick up chests, so that's kind of neat. So that should make it easy, right? I can fill a couple chests with a couple things and make this a pretty quick and easy move. And I'll continue to use the teleports a little bit. Maybe I'll make another one of these just to make it a little bit easier. Alright guys, for now, I think we have to wrap up the episode. So, hope you enjoyed checking it out. I will be using these teleports a bit in the future because I have a couple plans for where they might be useful. For now, direwolf20 is signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy!